Welcome back. I'm going to be going through and building up a little base panel like I have this one here for my solar panels. This one I just have sitting on the table just because I got lots of projects working on and gotta get out of the way. We've got two more panels, so we're going to be building a larger stand that will just stand on the ground by itself, and that will hold all four panels. So went through, sketched out some designs that we have here. Let's see, hard to get this in the sunlight. Might be a little bit better there. Kind of hard to tell, but that's basically what it's going to look like. We'll have four panels there, and that's sort of an arrangement. That's a bird's eye view. Side view, it would look kind of something like that, and the panels would be spanning in that direction there. Then I got all my measurements out here, so I'm going through and cutting out all of these ports. So first one, we're going to do a couple cuts at 40 inches and then one at 16. The whole board itself is an 8-foot board. That means that it's actually basically 97, so that gives us enough slack so that we can cut our things out. Alright, so let's get this measured and cut. Alright, so let's see how this is. Get my hand out of the shadow. 16. Nice. Alright, so to build the project, we got 16, we got 16, we got 16, 12, 12, 12, 12, 30, 30, 30, 40, 40, 40, 84, 84. Now, we got all of our wood. Now we just have to screw it together. Just have to get my my drill and stuff. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Got our drill and screws. So I like to use these exterior screws here. These ones particularly, they have tan and green. I have tan because the wood's tan, and I'll probably end up painting it, but I don't know, we'll see. But so these ones, 2.5 by 9s is what I use. It's a Torx head. If the camera will focus on that or not. It's a Torx head. It works really nicely. The screws have this nice lifetime ceramic coating on them, and they got the shape of it with like the little split thing there. It really helps cut down on the amount of splitting you typically would get otherwise. And it just holds and bites into the wood really nice. And the coating on this really does a good job in holding up against the pressure treated wood like this. When I've used galvanized screws in the past to build picnic tables, chairs, whatever, that kind of stuff, that's outdoor where it's going to be sitting in a pressure treated lumber for a long time. Honestly, most hot dipped galvanized screws that I've used, give it a few years, 5, 7, something like that, and the screws start to rust pretty badly on a lot of them. Using screws from Home Depot, Ace, True Value, Lowe's, galvanized just don't hold up that nicely. These screws though, I've had these in projects that sat for 10 years in the pressure treated lumber, take it back out, and I mean sometimes you might see like a dot of rust here and there on the threads somewhere, but basically nothing. The coating on these really is a lot better than the galvanized, and so since I've used these as well as galvanized and some other ones, this is the way to go. These are by far my favorite. These grip right screws, they do a great job. These ones are from Lowe's, I believe. They may have them at Home Depot, I don't remember. Pretty sure I got these from Lowe's though. But yeah, I usually get some of these bigger boxes like this. A little bit more pricey now, especially since COVID, but they last a lot longer. So if you're ever doing any exterior work, especially if you're using pressure treated lumber, these screws, totally recommend. Definitely the way to go. Last little bit I forgot to do with these guys here. is these are actually going to end up being my corner pieces going like this way. So if I have a piece like that and a piece like that, that's going to be my corner piece going that way. So I'm just going to use the chop saw, and we're just going to knock off the corners there just to make it look a little bit more presentable. And then on some of these other square pieces, I'm probably going to go through and just knock off the corners here a little bit. Again, same thing, just to make it look a little bit more. What am I talking about? Just chopping them up like that. Make the ends a little bit nicer. Same thing on these flat pieces here. Just knocking the corners off. Makes it look a little bit more perfect. Alright, so the angle that we're going to put on the ends here to have that slight slope like this is going to be 15 degrees on both. So set your saw to 15, and we're going to cut them this way. Alright, now that we've got those three 30-inch pieces cut to 15 on the one end, now we're going to do the same with our 16-inch pieces. Now that we got all of our pieces cut to the 15 degrees, everything is now cut and we can begin assembling. So that is basically what I'm going for. And then these long ones are going to be running this way. There will be 3 sets of these. So one on each end and one in the middle. Those boards are going to be running a long way there and a long way there. Now all these pieces that are all cut up, I have enough to do that, and then I have one extra. So in total it was 6 2x4x8s. This extra one is just in case if I feel, you know, maybe I need a middle support or something to make it a little bit more rigid. We'll use it. This isn't really designed to be something mobile that you're going to be like wheeling around or like moving other places. I suppose you could if you wanted to, but the idea is that it's stationary. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to come up 10 inches from the base on each side. Which then would leave 6 inches there and 20 inches from the base to the top there. So a 10-inch gap from the ground to the bottom of the first support. Now while I'm screwing this in myself, I cut these little spacers on either side. They're 1 inch thick. Because right, we got this 2x4, so it's actually 3.5 wide. These boards are 1.5 inches wide. So that means you got a total of 2 inches left over. So you want 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on that side. Hence the 1 inch spacer. So that way these boards will sit nice and centered on the other boards. Let's take a look at this first one. Alright, so we put them there with our spacer. Put another spacer on this side. Just so that would make it a little bit easier to visualize when I'm drilling these in. And nice. No splits, no cracks. Got both of our screws in there nicely, just past the end. And nice and tight and square. So I ended up going offset on the one just because I realized I don't have the other screws. So that side's not going to be a straight line like this one, but it's fine. But there you go. That's how it'll stand up. So then we'll have 3 of these, and then the long boards will be sitting across the top there. And then once all 4 solar panels are on there, that'll help add some rigidity to it as well. Alright, so here are my 3 boards here. What I ended up doing is left one's on the left side, middle one's in the middle, right one's on the right side. And then we have our side pieces there too. Now, looks like my neighbor's got a sneeze. Now, we're going to run these long ones across the top. Alright. And there she is. All nice. And screwed together. What I did was on these sides, I came out 2 inches to this edge out here. And then pretty much centered it on there and on there, just about. And there you go. So the one that was right centered I put here, the one that was left put there, and then the one that was on center right in the middle. Put 2 of those screws in for each, and there she is. So I did end up using that extra piece. I cut about 80 inches, threw that in under there, just to give it a little bit more rigidity down below. So you got this piece here which holds this part pretty straight, that piece there. Now of course you do have these 2 big open boxes, and so your twisting, that's going to be in motion in that direction, is going to be super strong. If you really were planning on putting this thing on wheels and moving it around and it's not just sitting there, what have you, I would highly recommend here, 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 and here, putting in some diagonals. You can go this way or this way. But yeah, especially if you put it in X, or at least getting in a V in one of the orientations in there. That will greatly help with your twisting, if you are planning on moving this thing around a lot. Alright, so we did end up getting this paint. We got this one because it's very close in color to the house, if not the same, and it happened to be actually one of the ones at Lowe's that was a customer return, so it was really cheap. Exterior paint, satin. So we're going to use this. We're going to paint the wood, starting with the top, and then after we paint the top up here, and then we're going to work our way down. Same thing, start at the top, work our way down. When I get close to the asphalt part, I'll either throw some cardboard onto there, maybe move it onto the grass or something, I don't know. Something so I don't make a mess all over the ground. Alright, it's time to paint it. Alright, she's all painted. So, I mean, the light's kind of getting dim, but that paint, for just finding a paint that is one of the free ones, because it was a color mismatch, it's really, really close to the color of the house. It's a little bit lighter. Now granted, this paint here is still wet, and obviously that's dry and was years old, so it's faded, but this is honestly really, really close. I'm happy with it. Right now I just have it propped up in the air because I forgot to paint the underside first. So normally, like when I've done other ones, you'd flip it on its top, paint the bottom, let it dry. Once it's done, then put it upright and then paint it. I forgot to do that, so in order to paint the undersides, that's why I got this thing here. Just propping it up so I get the undersides and keep it up off the ground. But there she is. It's actually thinking the video's running a bit long, so I'm actually going to cut it here. And we'll do the brackets and put the panels up with the electrical and stuff next time. That's all we got for today. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks. We'll see you next time.